The Gran Turismo movie is a movie that follows the life of Jann Mardenborough as he rises from gamer to racer. And in that movie is a bunch of cars from the Gran Turismo franchise, but I thought I would recreate those cars in the Crew 2. And here on the Crew 2, I am going to be going in and recreating as many cars as I can. In fact, I think this video will actually be a record for the amount of cars recreated in a recreating cars video. So what does recreating Gran Turismo cars even look like? This video will also serve as a bit of a review for the movie. No spoilers really, by the way, like the mildest of mild spoilers, nothing important at all. But let's get into the first car. And the first car on this list is a bit unfortunate because we can't recreate this car. There's a bunch of scenes when they're really just going full Gran Turismo shill in this movie, and the car that they use is the Honda NSX. This specific one from the Crew Motorfest. It's the one that they're like, Gran Turismo, it's not a game, it's a racing simulator. But this is the car, the Honda NSX. Would you want to see me do this video again in Motorfest so that we can actually, I guess, recreate this car as well as all the other ones in this video, you know? We'll be able to do those ones again. I'll definitely be doing all the videos that I've done already in the recreating series in Motorfest as well. But, like I said, no spoilers, no major spoilers in this video. But if you do want to see a full review for the Gran Turismo movie, that's going to be over on the Stick Drift podcast. A podcast out every week for all things car culture, racing games and motorsports, and yes, maybe gamers can be a race car. So check out the Stick Drift podcast for my full review. But let's go to the first car that we actually can recreate. And first on the list is the number of cars used in the generic racing series that features in the movie. It's not based on a real one. I believe GT3 or GT4 is what he was actually starting out with in the real world, but in the movie, they just put him in like a generic any car allowed. There's like a ZL1, there's this Corvette, there's a BMW of some kind, there's an Aston Martin of some kind, there's an Audi R8, a Huracan, a Mustang, and a GT-R Nismo, all racing in the same series. It seems like they just went, okay, what current popular race cars are out, and got those. But of course, these ones, because these were highly generic, I don't have much to do for these, even to the point where, yeah, I don't even really have a livery for this one. But let's add on to this list. So here's the Corvette. In the movie, it's actually got like a green livery to it, but a pretty cool touring car. It's just one of the cars that one of the other teams is in. I believe every single team, except for Team Nissan, is fictional, so that makes the most sense, but obviously the cars as well. The events of the movie took place in like 2013, and every single car is a car from last 3 years at oldest. But the next car on the list of generic opponent cars, where's the 458? 458 what? No wonder 45 is getting fat. Oi, oi, up top, oi. One of the other competitors on the track was a Ferrari of some kind. I've gone with the 488 here. I just really like the way this car looks just in general. Like, this is a really cool looking racing car, in my opinion. I don't know what it is about it. It just looks really sick to me. It's one of those cars that I can't wait to drive in Motorfest because it feels like such a real world racing car. I mean, I guess because it is, right? I think so. Oh, wait, what if it isn't? Oh, no, okay, yeah, it is a real... If it wasn't a real-life racing car, it would say Touring Car Edition is what it would say if it was one made by the Crew. Next on the list, well, the last one on the list of generic opponents is where a bit of the high detail begins. This is the Ford GT Lemon, which... the one in the game, in the movie, sorry, isn't the Lemon. It's just like a GT3 Cup or something version. It looks a lot closer to the Hypercar one, but of course this one's in Touring, so it makes it easier to use the Lemon version that's in Touring. But we do have also just a really cool car to exist in the game in general. But this is where something very cool begins. Massive shout out to Krutas, livery creator, who has made liveries for this video right here. And that begins with this for this car, looking almost exactly like it does in the movie. And this will be the first one we'll actually take into a race. Here we go. I decided to take the GT Lemon into the Forsberg race. Why not? We don't have parts on it, so we're not going to be doing too well. But I guess we can get like a timed run on this. A lot of this is a bit unfortunate. Like, the livery doesn't go away. You put the livery over the base livery, which is dumb. Same with the spoiler. It's really the best we could do for this car. Again, massive shout out to Krutas. He'll put some funny, hilarious, semi-ironic comment, and it will be pinned. And of course, all these liveries will be available on PlayStation for you guys. So of course, I'll try my best to show all of the images for what restrictions the liveries have, the filters, so you can get these liveries for yourself and recreate some of your cars, some of the Gran Turismo cars yourself, you know. Okay, this thing is a very cool car, and it handles pretty good, but that's just like the whole of touring car now. Like, look at that. That's a satisfying handling model, man. It's such a satisfying handling model. The fact that it just like, I like it. I like it. The GT Lemon gets a thumbs up from me. Definitely a long race I've picked for a car that doesn't really matter for the rest of this video, because it's just one of the, as I even stated, generic generic opponent vehicles. And now that I go into the final lap, I think it's about time you edit your comment going, ha 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 ha, Sid's a dumbass, this one's going straight on the Reddit. I know it's not Lemon. I'm not that much of a raging idiot. I know it's pronounced Le Mans, alright? It's Le Mans. It's... Oh dear, I did that once before. Back in the days of the agency update, I convinced my chat I unironically thought it was pronounced Le Mans. But the worst thing was, literally just before that, I said, oh, Le Mans. And then I thought in my head it would be funny if I called it Lemon. Started calling it Lemon, and everyone just forgot that I pronounced it the right way the first time. So yes, you're angry or haha funny this is going on the Reddit comment. Yeah, who's got egg on their face now? The GT Lemon. The GT Lemon. Right, on to the next one. And now from the generic opponent vehicles, we go on to the car of the mentor of the film, played by the very talented David Harbour. His agent, not so talented, as he just came off Black Widow at the point of doing this film. First of all, let's remove this goddamn livery. Dear God, that was disgusting. But, oh my God, what did I do to this thing? This thing looks disgusting. Oh my God. Let me just stock this full thing out, because the car we're going for, I don't know if you would have noticed it in the movie. It was a Nissan 370Z. It was a safety car at one point. Well, stock out the vanities at some point, but at the moment we need to make it red. It's in the trailer, but you can't really... Jack Slater, yeah. Based on the real world, Johnny Herbert. He's who David Harbour's character is based on. He's the one who mentored Jann Mardenborough in real life. Didn't have some explosive crash, as far as I'm aware, though, as they said he did. That one seemed like it was just based just for the movie, I think. But he raced in a really famous Mazda, the Mazda 787B. A very, very cool looking Le Mans Mazda, I believe. He raced in a couple other ones. He did Formula 1 as well. He won at the Formula Ford Festival. Here's the livery, by the way, the safety car livery. A very cool looking livery. It's got the Gran Turismo logo, safety car everywhere. Very good. He came first in British Formula 3. He came first in 24 hours of Le Mans, right? A first at Le Mans is kind of a thing. And I believe he ended up being a commentator of some kind, but a bunch of firsts. Another First, Le Mans Legend, and Le Mans Endurance. This guy did some stuff. Damn. Let's get this pace car sorted, though. What is a pace car supposed to look like? I don't know. Not even a pace car. A safety car. I guess I'll put the classic trail off-road. I don't know. It looks a bit more unique that way. We won't go anything with smoke. Nitro. I mean, this is a perfect place for, like, this, the checkered, right? But my main hope is that we are able to put... What do you mean there's no toppers? What do you mean there's no toppers on this car? What do you mean there's no toppers? Why is there no topper? What do you mean, Nissan? Nissan! I'm trying to... Nissan! Wait! Here we go. We're taking it, obviously, in... It's still a street car, but... It's in a sporty race. And it's only the safety car. It doesn't need to do much anyway. And David Harbour plays a really good role. I will say, as far as what this video is for, right? I'm not going to give any spoilers. Those are in my podcast review of the movie. But I will say that the movie, the acting was great. The acting was really good. The only things I didn't like about the movie, the pacing was really weird. The script was so cringy at sometimes. It's actually, it's not a video game. It's a racing simulator, actually. Shut up. The script was so cringe sometimes. And the pacing was really weird. And I will say the editing was odd as well. For some of the racing, they tried to do like this, like, pausing effect where it gives you, like, information. Like, it says, it pauses with, like, a PlayStation 1 sound, like a sound, literally that exact sound, pauses, and then has, like, where the track is, right? Where he is in the race. I get what they were going for. Wasn't done the best, though. But I say that to say, even though there was those bad things in the movie, I really liked the acting. The acting was well done. The emotional scenes felt emotional. I'm a bit of a sucker, is the issue. If there's decent acting and sad music in the background, you'll get me. And the movie got me, alright? But I'd say David Harbour, playing his role as Jack Slater, in real life being Johnny Herbert, played really well. I think, genuinely, from him. Jann also did a pretty decent job, I think. Orlando Bloom, David Harbour, they were never going to disappoint, and I don't believe they did. A pretty good job from those two already well-seasoned actors. But of course, that didn't stop him from being subject to the script's cringe, with lines that are in the trailer. Like, what, you're gonna take these gamers who sit in their mom's basement and strap them to a 2-ton racing car? It'll tear them apart. Gamers can't be a racing car. They're just a video game. And eventually, you know, he comes around, obviously, right? He obviously comes around. But you know what? Cars like this, I will probably keep like this. Screw Nissan, though. I wish I could put the police lights on so I could have a safety car. Goddamn Nissan. Unfortunately, though, that was really the only car that David Harbour had. So, that's it for the Mentors cars. Oh, well, now we're onto the villains cars. Well, first of all, I suppose, let's go into customization. Yup, that's this thing customized. Now it's one that maybe you would have missed, but yes, the Gemera is in the movie. It's the car that the generic villain guy gets in. The main villain guy, he gets in this car to show that, well, basically what this villain is, his whole point, is to show that he's someone who's bought his way into racing. It's to show off that he's someone who, rich parents or whatever, and he's just paid his way into racing. And he's so rich, in fact, that even though this movie's events took place in 2013, he somehow has a concept Keonigsegg Gemera from the year much after the movie's events took place. But it was just a base Keonigsegg Gemera. Of course, the road version of this car has now come out, but this is the concept version originally. But yeah, the villain, you know what? I think the villains... how do I put this? There was only really one villain, And I'll explain that. But they definitely tried to make it so there was two, but there was only really one. Again, he's not based on a real person. I wonder if he's technically based on a real person, because obviously they had to make up names and make up people. Even Orlando Bloom's character, the guy who sells Gran Turismo, the Nissan Academy, GT Academy, he's a guy called Darren Cox in real life, who's the actual person who gave them the idea for GT Academy. But I wonder if he was actually based on any real life person, you know? The guy who is this guy. I forget his name, honestly. Team Kappa. That's who he is. Team Kappa. But screw his boring car. Before we talk about Team Kappa, talk about this other non-villain I was talking about. Unfortunately, this non-villain had a very, very cool car that isn't in touring car, unfortunately. A very cool car that made me wish this car was in touring car. It's an Audi R8. It wasn't one of these. Instead, it was the Audi R8 touring car, right? But we're gonna have to go with the street one, unfortunately. I completely forgot that we have the SidWaj livery on this thing. Oh, no. Oh, damn. I'm gonna have to refine this one at some point. But there it is, and look how good this livery looks. Oh! That's the car from the Gran Turismo movie. Let's get to customizing it. I mean, I suppose it just has to be very aggressively customized. We'll put the hole in the front because it's way, way, way newer of an Audi than the one that we see in the Crew 2. The one is like an actual GP racing Audi R8. The one in the Crew 2 is just like the one from like so many years ago. I mean, at least in Motorfest, we are going to be getting a newer Audi R8. And which spoiler is it? This one. That's the spoiler that we're going to go with. Over here, we shall go with... I don't really know what we're going with for the rear. I suppose whichever one looks as racy, which is this one. There we go. Oh, wait, no, that covers the motel. Huh. I suppose this one is the one we'll go with. And there we go. Oh, wait, we got to change this stuff. Oh, and perfect for this video, I have the lettered racing tires. Let me find them. Here they are, the lettered racing tires. I'm gonna take off any other stuff though. So yeah, this villain guy was kind of such a whatever. They literally, in the movie, they just say at one point, oh, also there's someone else on the track who's gonna be a bully. And then that's it. That's this guy's entire character development. He doesn't get a single line in the movie. He doesn't have one sentence in the movie. The guy is there to, like, slightly pressure Jann, and then... Never mind, that would be a spoiler. But yeah, he just, they sort of just didn't really bother with much thought into this guy, I suppose. Let's take off the window tint. Let's take off the topper for sure. There we go. That thing looks nice. Let's take it into a race. Here we go. We're taking this thing into, again, another Forsberg race because it's the only professional racing option we have when it comes to street cars. But this one turned out really, really good. Again, all of these liveries. Here's the code and whatever for this livery. The filters, that's what it is. Here's the filters for this livery. This one is very, very cool. I think I just like this car in general. I liked it in the movie as well. Again, like I said, it made me think that, damn, I really wish we had the newer Audi touring car in the Crew 2. I think we don't have good parts on this thing, but we could try and outpace that with parts on it Celine. But I really like this thing. This thing's sick. It looks really cool. Oh, God. I mean, these are all fictional. Oh, okay, maybe I stop looking at the livery and start looking at the road. They're fictional racing liveries, but I mean, they did actually get real-world brands to be on these fictional liveries. It's interesting. Did Kappa have any actual license? Because, I mean, these guys were also, well, this guy was also supposed to be a villain of sorts, but he's got real-world sponsors. I suppose maybe Kappa might have had some sponsors, but might not have had some because, well, obviously they're like, look, we bought our way into racing. Woo, look, we're rich. See? You know what? I want to see some of this car in PvP. This thing looks so cool, as well as all of these liveries from today's video. Now, the Audi R8 is one of the better cars in street. It's like top 10 by now, I would say. It used to be like second best, but I'd say it's top 10 now. So it's a usable car as well, you know? The Nissan now has that really cool safety car livery on it, but I'm not really going to use that livery ever, right? Because I'm not going to use that car. This one, I'm going to be able to use because I'm going to use the car still because it's a really good car. And you can use this car because it's a really good car. The livery mapping on the Audi R8 is awful. You can see the stretched textures on the roof. I did, in the process of these liveries being made for this video right here, I did hear a lot of complaints about the Crew 2's livery system. And unfortunately, Motorfest is the same, so we'll see how that goes. You know, if I ever come back to asking, hey, I want to do recreating GT cars in the Crew Motorfest instead of Crew 2, I can imagine Crewtas isn't going to have the most fun if I did ever come asking for that. Oh yeah, you're right. It does look very Glow Motorsport, because obviously Glow Motorsport is that multicolored design look. The white with the multicolored. It's actually a shout. Yeah. Right, on to the next villain. And for this villain, we are indeed in touring car again, because this is the main villain of the Gran Turismo movie. This is Team Kappa, the team that, you're not really a spoiler, right at the beginning of the movie, that the mentor used to be a mechanic for, but then ditches them to train Jann, but then they're still on the track, and they drive a... they drive a... Hey, you know, this looks pretty cool. You know, this looks fine. This looks great. In fact, I'd say this in maybe any other color looks pretty okay. Maybe white, I would say. It looks pretty nice in. I wonder what color... Red. The white looks really nice for this car. I wonder what color these guys made their car in the movie. Their car was chrome gold in the movie. Oh, no. I've got an attempt at its official sort of color amount. So this at 12, this at 56. There we go. This at 55. And that's the closest to the gold. It's a really weird, ugly, obnoxious gold. Oh, yeah, not even metallic. Sorry. Chrome. I forgot to put it in chrome. 12, 56, and 55. There we go. Try not to have the worst taste imaginable challenge. We got the racing tires on it already, which is good. We could put the Bucks smoke. Hey, they bought their way into racing, you know? We have a gold nitro as well. Where is it? The gold dust one. I quite like that nitro, actually, for gold cars. There it is, the Gold Rush Nitro. No underglow, even though with how ugly these guys, they make their cars, I wouldn't be surprised if they did put an underglow on it. But there we go. The banner was a pain to make. I can imagine. And also, this car has red bits on it by default, which is annoying. They didn't have red on their one. But now that... Oh, God, this Huracan is such a cool car. But the chrome gold ruins it. It's such a cool car. Okay, the gold nitro looks pretty cool. Now that we are on the final car for the villains, and we're about to go on to Jann Mardenborough, the protagonist, his car, what did you guys think of the Gran Turismo movie? What would you rate it out of 10? Give me your reviews in both the comment section of this video and in the live stream chat. What is your review of this movie? Also, this car handles pretty nice. The livery gets ruined by lighting sometimes. You can see when we're in the light, any black parts of the livery are like outlined. But then as soon as we're in the dark shadows, it's fine. It's really annoying that it does that. You know what, chat? Honestly, and it sucks, I'm not hating this thing. I think it's just the really good livery work. I think it's just like genuinely... The liveries are really well done. The color code is accurate to the movie. Something about this car, chat. I don't hate it, and that's bad. It's really bad that I don't hate this car. Because obviously it's supposed to. It's a Huracan. It's a gold chrome Huracan. It's supposed to show like, oh, these are the guys who bought their way into racing. They've got no taste, no skill, which, then again, they bought their way into racing. But the guy is still very good in the movie, you know. Until spoilers. Spoilers. Until the last turn of Le Mans, he was in third place, you know? Like, until the last turn of so many races, he was in third place. Until he wasn't. So, it does, you know, it's not even like he was terrible. But I genuinely think that this guy he was a bit generic. He definitely was a bit generic. Spoilers over, chat. Someone put in chat spoilers over. I definitely think this guy was a bit generic. I mean, like I already mentioned, one of my criticisms of the movie, it had a bit of cringy script writing, which he was no subject to. Again, a line that was in the trailer, it's part of the game, it's called racing, whatever. Whatever. And you know what? He serves as a pretty okay on-the-track antagonist. He's better written because he'd had any writing than the guy who was the Audi guy, the poor Audi. Truly, not too bad of a run for this Huracan guy. Definitely cringy. There was no character progression for him. But whatever, you know? Could have carried more speed through turn 4. Hey, you don't tell the guys on Kappa team that they could have carried more speed through turn 4, alright? How about you stick to staying under the car? How about you stick to making liveries, alright? And I stick to the track and get that damn Gran Turismo racer. Goddamn Gran Turismo. He's a video game. He can't be a race car. It's a part of the game. It's called racing. Whatever. This one, honestly, I wish we spent longer time in this car. I've really enjoyed that one, honestly. When I saw it as the main villain car, I was like, no way. That thing's in the crew. I can do that. And I did. On to Jann's cars, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, the next cars suck. They suck. We're in such a terrible position for these next cars for a couple of reasons. And look, we have the Forsberg Nismo. Sure, we can't customize that. I get it. Then, I remember I saw it and I was like, yay. We can make Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo can be in the crew. Because we have the Nissan GT-R. But here's one issue. You can't change the livery on the Nissan GT-R in Touring. Nissan! You suck! God damn it! It's so annoying! It's so annoying! Why? Why, Nissan? Why? God damn it! Oh, whatever, Nissan. First toppers, now livery? Exactly! Like, what? What? So instead, and it sucks, we're again gonna have to go with the street cars. It sucks to end on this one, right? There was also a fancy Porsche that they drove at one point. Jann's dad is also got like an older Volkswagen of some kind. It's like the Mark II Golf, but like not the hatchback version. There's Nissan. And okay, so hear me out. So this is how this is gonna work. First of all, it's simple. We're gonna do the first car, the car that Jann learns to race in as it's part of the Gran Turismo Academy. Well, I imagine not originally. In this movie it is, at least, because they just used newer year cars. Oh, and look at that. You can only put underglows and horns. Nissan! What? Bro's trying to be Ferrari so bad. A VW Corrado. Yeah, there you go. But I believe if we make this thing white, let's take off this livery. I'm gonna make it, yeah, no, I think that's a fine white. But the training is done in GT-Rs, and right there is, God, these liveries look so good. Oh, well, that is a Crew 2 livery moment, I suppose. God, that is shocking. Oh, this is a AAA racing game, chat. Oh my, I really hope the livery resolutions are better in Motorfest, but I've heard they're not. God damn it. But there you go, very sick looking livery. We can't do anything for underglow, I'm not gonna do anything for horn, but there is the GT Academy car. Let's take it into a race. Also, yeah, you can't put any visual customizations on this thing either, because screw Nissan. Nissan, how are you gonna allow this and this and the new 300ZX, but then no toppers, and whatever, all right? Suck it, Nissan. Here we go. It does indeed suck because, it does incredibly suck because this thing could be cool. You know, it would have been nice. To be fair, this one I would have done on the street one anyway. It just made more sense to put this livery on the street version of this car from the beginning, really. I think I was already gonna do that, so this one's fine. It's when we get to Jann's racing Nissan GT-R that it's more annoying that we can't do anything because we can't use and do anything to the actual GT-R racing one in touring, livery-wise. So we're screwed. So instead, we're just gonna have to shuck it up, and I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do for that one, because it's not just gonna be on this thing. Of course, here is the livery filters for this car. Check it out. You can have your very own Gran Turismo Academy, chat. You can be like, look, I am a video game who is gonna be a real race car one day. Yippee! And as far as it comes to Jann and his story, of course, it's based on real life. There's some interesting things they changed, though, that we talk about in the Stick Drift podcast. But some very interesting things they changed. But as far as, Jann and his story, you know, I will admit, as far as a motorsports film goes, my review of the film is like, yeah, it was pretty good. Maybe like a 6.5 out of 10, I'd say. Yeah, like as far as if you just look at it for what it's trying to be, which isn't a lot, just like a fun whatever, maybe like a 7, like a 7.5. But I think if you look at it as a film, then no, it's closer to like a 6, really. But yeah, it did a good job as a motorsports film, as a, not really a coming of age, but like that kind of like rags to riches story. And you know, in the end, you're like, no way, he was a video game, but now he's a race car. Maybe I can do that too. I play video game. Yippee. 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, people like the movie. And I think the movie, you know, I'd give it, I mean, 6 is still on the top half of reviews, right? As far as it goes for 1 to 10. I'd say 6.5 is still pretty good. It was whatever. It was still very fun. But the next thing that's going to be very fun is recreating Jann's racing Nissan. So how are we doing this one? Well, it's going to be with the old GT-R. Now, hear me out. The reason it's going to be the old GT-R is because that's the only one that we can kind of even slightly emulate the touring car version, unfortunately. And the way we do that is by putting this on here, doing this wide body, which you need the canards, and the canards come with the wide body, so I think you kind of have to use the wide body, unfortunately. The rims will go with these ones. We'll go stock mirrors. The side is going to be the Nismo kit. See, I would use the Nismo kit on the front, because it is a Nismo, but then you don't get the canards and the wide body is the issue. And I want the canards and the wide body. The wide body at the back. The rear wing, obviously just the one really GP racing wing looking thing. And then at the back, you can actually go with the Nismo kit, I suppose. I'll allow it, you know. I'll let you get away with it this time, okay? There you go. That's not the Nismo kit. That is the Nismo kit. I guess I'll put the regular lights at the back, though. There we go. And then, like the other ones, we got to make it white and go over here to Crutass's Gran Turismo Movie livery. Honestly, as far as recreating Jann's racing Nissan GT-R, even though it's a much older one, it's not in touring, I think that looks pretty damn good. Ooh, I love this thing from the back. Again, I just wish we could have done this to the actual racing version of the GT-R, man. Whatever, Nissan, whatever. Here we go. Oh, I forgot to change this thing's vanities. Oh, well, though. So, the Gran Turismo movie, I thought it was pretty alright. I thought it was fun. I thought it did what it was trying to do, at least, just be a motorsports film. Like I said, my main critiques were like the writing, sometimes, the script writing, the editing, and the pacing. The pacing, okay, for like 5 seconds, spoilers again. Spoilers again for a second. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. I'll wave my arms. The fact that the movie was like, it built up, it built up, it built up, and it's like Gran Turismo Academy, woo! And then it goes back into being slow again in the racing. And then he does the racing, and then just like out of nowhere, it's like, and he's got his license, woo! And then it goes slow again. And then it goes slow again and slow again. And then it's like, fine, it's happy. It's like, yay, yay, Jann is racing. Someone died. Woo, Jann is racing and he's doing so well. He almost lost his life and someone else lost theirs in a crash. Well, better go to Le Mans and prove that video games can be race cars. Which also, that Le Mans race where they came third, in the real world, that happened like 2 years before Jann's crash. Jann ran Le Mans only 2 years after starting racing, came third, incredibly impressive. But then 2 years after is when he crashed, and then that year is when he ran Le Mans. And he DNF'd. So they sort of just made up that plot point, the let's revive the reputation of racers. They just made up that plot point, because they did do Le Mans right after that, but it was a DNF. The time they came third was 2 years before. And of course, Le Mans is a very deadly track, just in general. It's claimed many lives of racers as well. And it was a freak accident that it wasn't Jann's fault and couldn't have been in any way. And also, one thing that the movie also neglected to mention was, now it's a bit of a whatever, right? Someone still did lose their life, but the spectators, they crossed a fence they weren't supposed to cross. They crossed a fence. There's supposed to be 2 fences, one to catch the cars, and then a spectator's fence, and they crossed that fence. But spoilers over. I'm not gonna talk spoilers anymore. No more spoilers. Spoilers are gone. I murdered spoilers. But yeah, honestly, the movie was fun. The movie was fun. I enjoyed it for what it was. I'd watch it again, I guess. It was a bit of a nothing. I like what they tried to do. I hope it does as well as it can. And Nissan, screw you for your utterly shocking letting me customize and whatever cars in the Crew 2. So worth a watch? Yeah. You know what? I'd say it's worth a watch. It's not actually as bad as the memes would say. Thank you to popular members, a special thank you to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members Danimal the Manimal, Void, and Grim Pepper, and an insane top of the top thank you to icon members Bad at Games 02. It's not a horrible movie, just goofy. Exactly. And that's about it for that video. I'm gonna keep streaming though in a